fall from the sky. Bad boy has no fear for the lava. And the vision of them tell them not right. And so we tired of the right. Yes, tired of the right. Tired of the shooting and the killing. Cause I know yes, we tired of the right. Yes, I go tired of the tired of the shooting and the killing. Tired of the sound of gunfire. Watching how we nation a die. They know that we blood friendly the nation. Everything continue with the life. Now we fire with the lyrics. Let the by them know where we stand. There will be an end to this violence. I will make them reap for them a soul in the land. Because we tired of the boom bye bye. Tired of the boom bye bye. We tired of the shooting and the killing. Constant funeral for aye. The boom bye bye. Yeah. Tired of the boom bye bye. Tired of the killing. Constant flow to the cemetery. Blood flow like rain from we eye. Talent on the waste in the graveyard. Up while he was reaching for the sky. Hear the sound of the heartbreak. He's taking family aside. Hey. They were shattered on the pavement where he died. And so we tired of the boom bye bye. Tired of the boom bye bye. Oh yeah, good night everybody. The boom is on. Tired of the boom bye bye. All right, just adjusting a few things here. Make sure I get a nice shot, you know. Hey. All right, let's get one more song on there while the others are joining us. The boom is on, talking about God's 3 requirements from Micah chapter 6 and verse 8. It's all laid out there. Just need a few bits of information, explanation. Taking it to the hoop. Here's an old hymn of the faith. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of sinners was slain. So I'll cherish, man. Come on. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross. Till my trophy at last I lay down. Oh yeah. I will cling to the old rugged cross to save my life and exchange someday for a crown. Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophy at last I lay down. Oh yeah, I will cling. Hey, hey, hey. All right, the old rugged cross. It was on that old cross, suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll hey, at last I'll lay down. Oh yeah. And I'll exchange it someday for a crown. The way it's looking, it's going to be pretty soon. Live rapture ready, y'all. Clean house. It's shame and reproach gladly bear. All right. Then you call me someday to my home far away, where is glory forever. I'll share. And exchange it someday for a crown. Hey. All right, I will. All right, I like. That is my faith and confidence. I'll exchange it someday for a crown. All right, I'm getting right into it. Micah chapter 6. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. He has told us, this is God now told us, "O man, what is good? And what does the Lord require of thee?" There are two questions there. What is good, A? What does the Lord require of you, B? And then he answers the question. It's a rhetorical question, so the answer is given. To do justice, the first thing. We usually, in the human society, put first things last. Do justice, that's the first thing mentioned. It has to be in order of importance. He has prioritized what he wants to be done, what his requirements are, and what comes first. The first thing that comes is justice. Do justice. Don't talk about it, do it. And then he says, to love kindness, B, so 1, do justice, B, love kindness, and C, and to walk humbly with your God. Justice, kindness, and humility. So what I'm going to do, these are the 3 requirements of God according to Micah 6 and 8. I'm going to be the mathematician and break it down like a fraction so that we all can have, in the terms of the insurance consensus ad item, a meeting of the mind. So we all are on the same page and we don't assume to understand what the person is talking about. Being in the public eye and speaking to people over the years, sometimes I ask the people, what was I saying? And they tell me what I was saying. I want to go and drink. I mean, it's like chalk and cheese. What was I saying? Or what were they hearing? Or one of us left the brain somewhere. A total disconnect between what was said and what was understood. And so I like to go to Webster, my good friend, and get some definition of terms so that we can be specific as to what the terms mean. Because a word means a different thing in a different context, with different people, a different sentence structure, ray. But the first he said justice. What is justice? I'm glad you asked. Justice is righteousness, doing right. It is equitableness, equal distance, treating people equally. Not treating them better because they're related to you, better because they're of your same race, better because they're in your same political party, better because you live in the same neighborhood. Equitableness, equal treatment across the board. Rich and poor get the same treatment. Yeah, right. I can hear you saying that. Moral rightness. Righteousness, lawfulness. When people are crying for justice, it's because there is lawlessness or an adherence to the law, but it takes 20 years before the law kicks in, because the law sometimes moves at the speed of molasses. And so there's a term, justice delayed is justice denied. Lawfulness, the quality of being true or correct, as opposed to lies and crookishness and incorrectness. Just dealing or treatment. Just dealing, right dealing, or right treatment. Oh, that is so missing all around. People treat you according to status, according to wealth, etc., and they have a way of estimating certain people to be of more value than other people. And you can tell that they're treating you less than, as opposed to treating you as they treat others, or as they would like to be treated. Justice, just dealing or treatment. Now here's another aspect of justice. To receive punishment for one's misdeeds. When justice is meted out, it means that someone has received punishment for their misdeeds. They did something wrong and they are receiving punishment for the wrong things that they have done. Justice, to act fairly toward, to be fair towards a person or group. Justice, to appreciate properly. Appreciation is one thing, but doing it properly, that's a totally different ball game. There's a lot of improper appreciation that goes on, and sometimes you wonder if this is appreciation or depreciation. Most times it's sort of appreciation with a little bit of D up in there. You're not getting the full blast. To appreciate properly, to express the worth or value, to express the worth properly, to express, there has to be a verbal or something that's tangible that expresses the worth of someone, and you express it in such a manner based on what they have done. You know that they deserve this accolade. You're giving them what they deserve. My grandmother used to say something, then my mother picked up on it. Give Jack his jacket. Whatever belongs to somebody, then let them have it. Don't try to shortchange people. And across the globe, there's a hue and cry for justice, where certain people just seem to get off with murder, literally. And those who do that are called peaceful, and those who get killed and mistreated are called the troublemakers. What a world, what a world, what a world. One man said, Satchmo, what a wonderful world. It's still a wonderful world. We've got some work to do. So he said, do justice. The second thing he says here, do justice, love kindness. That's the second thing. So justice comes first, kindness comes second. Being kind, showing favor to people. He's talking about kindness. Displaying a friendly disposition or friendly feeling towards. A liking for or a liking towards a person. We're talking about kindness. To have a good, benevolent nature as opposed to a malevolent nature. You see that word mal there, you know something is wrong. Malfunction, malpractice. It's not a good thing. Showing benevolence, being compassionate, having consideration, helpfulness, acting in a humane manner as opposed to acting in a beast-like manner. Kindness. The Bible talks about the woman, the Proverbs 31 woman. In her mouth is the law of kindness. Her words are measured. They are thought about before spoken so that they don't create wounds and hurts and ill feeling. Justice first, kindness second. And then he says, and to walk humbly with your God. To walk humbly as opposed to arrogantly, proudly. To be low in importance. It doesn't mean you're not important, but you're not trying to strut your proverbial stuff. In the world's system and way of doing things, they say, if you've got it, flaunt it. But in Jesus's way and in his system and kingdom principles, he says, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, and in due season, he, God, will raise you up. Walk humbly, not proudly, not arrogantly. Status or condition, humble, staying down in status or condition. You're not trying to elevate yourself all the time. Having a submissive, meek disposition, submissive, submarine, going under. Even though you know you're here, for the sake of peace, you maintain an even keel and don't swell up like Hermit or Kermit the Frog. Humility, what a missing ingredient. Mercy, compassion, kindly forbearance shown to an offender. They're offensive, but you still have mercy. Look, there are lots of times in life when you can bring the heavy, but bringing the heavy will damage some people. Even though you might think they deserve it, or based on their behavior, everyone says they deserve it. You don't have to bring the heavy just because you can. Sometimes it's good to let some people off the hook. Let them go. The first thing you think about, they have children. They have wives and children. They have a wife and children. What are you going to do? If you bring the heavy, it's going to affect their wives and affect their children. And for that sake, a lot of times, you just keep the heavy to yourself. You know what you can do, but you don't have to do everything that you know you can do. Just let people off the hook sometimes. Let them go. You'll get it back. You'll reap what you sow. Forbearance shown to an offender. Pity, benevolence, an act of kindness, compassion, or favor. That is how God wants us to walk and to live. And I'm going to now focus particularly on those people who are believers, who are especially walking in the apostolic and the prophetic. You know, I've been riding these two horses for the last 2 weeks. And we have got to learn to be faithful to do what God says and commands. And this is what he says, and this is what he commands. He has told you, O man, that's you, what is good and what does the Lord require of you. But to do justice, the first thing you must learn is to do justice. Second thing, to love kindness. And the third thing, to walk humbly with your God. Walk with him. He can be walked with. There's a relationship that a man can have with God. God is knowable. Oh yeah, you can know him. His ways and his acts you can know. All right, so do justly. What does that mean? It means that you must treat people fairly. You can't do justly and have favorites. Some people you treat better than others. Some people you elevate, and other people you put down. Oh, my mind is spinning in a million directions, but I'm going to have to do some serious self-control. Do not take advantage of people that you think are weak. You're going to oppress them and suppress them and let them know you run things, and you're roughshod over them, and you're constantly belittling them and making them feel less than. And for those of you who have taken that kind of behavior from people on a consistent basis, I got a word for you. Go! Do not take advantage of the weak. Don't mistreat people, whether they're rich or poor. Well, you know you can't mistreat the rich. They'll sue your sorry donkey. So you treat them with great respect. It's the poor that you mistreat and mishandle and talk about anyhow you want to talk to them and shout at them and send condescending tones and messages to them as though they were your kids or something. You can't talk to your children like that. Children don't put up with that. Don't mistreat people because they're black, white, or polka dotted. People are made in the image and in the likeness of God, and if you have any regard or any respect for God at all, you would never disregard or disrespect another human being who is made in the image and likeness of God. I'm always worried about religious people who attend mosque and church and temples, and they're the meanest people on the planet, and they always praying, always talking about God, God, God. You need to drop all that God in your mouth and put a little bit of that God in your heart and learn to treat people properly. Do not use authority to put down or to destroy other people. I had a guy tell me one time he got elevated to a position of authority, and the first thing he said to me was, "Now heads will roll." I said to him, "Your head might be the first one." His head did roll. It took a while, but his head did roll. He thought being in charge meant you're going to make people uncomfortable and show them that you have the big stick. Leadership is not about bashing people in the head. Or you'll find after a while they'll bash back. Then you'll cry, these people are rebellious. Do not use authority to put people down or to destroy other people. Don't return evil for good. People have been good to you. They went out there, they marched for you. They went out there, they voted for you. Now you're treating them like crap. Don't return evil for good, because you reap what you sow. Don't overlook the people who helped you. Now that you're high and mighty, you can't say morning. You have no manners for them anymore, no regard, no respect. Don't overlook the people who help you. Don't pretend like you don't know them, like you don't remember them. Say hi. Yes. Do not betray your friends. Do not betray your wife. Do not betray your children. Do not betray your friends. Do justly. Do not use and abuse people for your own personal gain. People are not a statistic that you can ride on and use until you jump off from that group. You go on to ride and use another group. There are people who are users. There are leaders who are users. They use people and then they discard them. They mistreat them, shout at them, cuss them off, tell them off when they're done with them, and have the nerve to wonder why people are scattering from you. Your attitude towards people. You're crass and crude. You're cruel. You're rude and obtuse and obnoxious. People don't want to be bothered with you. You're always in a fight, always in a stow and re, always telling off somebody. When are you going to stop and just chill? Yeah, drink a chill pill. Do not use and abuse people for personal gain. Don't destroy people through slander and backbiting. Do justly. Do not destroy people through slander and through backbiting, cutting them down when their backs are turned. Don't cheat people. Protect and defend the innocent. I'm talking about do justly. Protect the innocent. Defend the innocent. Stand up for those who don't have the moral courage to stand up for themselves. Jesus said, I was in prison and you visited me. He said, I was hungry and you fed me. He said, I was naked and you clothed me. He said, Lord, when did all of this happen? He said, inasmuch as you do this to the least of these, my brethren. Who was he talking about and calling his brethren? People who are in prison, people who are hungry, and people who were without clothing. You cannot be a Christian. You cannot be a church-going, God-believing person, and you can never help a human being. The devil is a liar. Love will compel you to do something. You're not doing it out of vain glory because you want to be seen of men, but it's a must. If you're a believer, it's a must that good will come out of you. You will help somebody. You will bless somebody. You will stand up for the innocent. You will defend those who cannot defend themselves. Doing justice sometimes means you have to stand up to bullies. You have to take the spot of the person who's being bullied and say, yo, bro, not enough. You can't do this again. Not on my watch. Not while I'm here. You wouldn't talk to him like that. You can't talk to her like that. You're not going to slap her another time, or else you'll have to go through me first. People think that because you're a believer, you're this little thing they can slap you, you turn the right cheek. You're some kind of something people wipe their feet on, and you're there for them to walk on top of your head. You have a very poor concept of what the Lord was talking about. It doesn't mean you're a floor mat. Do justice. Protect and defend the innocent. Don't cheat people. Give people what is due to them. Give them what is due to them. Don't underpay people. Don't give them less than because you're in an advantageous position. Don't assume to know that you and your little tidbit that you hand out is all that there is in life. They're going to take what I give them because if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't get anything at all. No, you get people to do something for you. You know what is appropriate. Do what is appropriate. Don't try to shortchange people. And oh my goodness, I could talk for hours about churches that shortchange people. They do it all the time. And they do it and wipe their mouth and don't have any conviction at all about shortchanging people, robbing people. I'm going to leave it alone though. But give everyone what is due them. Don't hold it back for next month. Give it to them when they deserve it. When it's you, you want 50% increase, but when it's them, you want them to have 5%. What's up with that? And you can afford to not get the 50% that you got. You know they can't live with this kind of a high cost of living, and you're deliberately pretending like you don't know mathematics. We know you know. We know you know what's going on. So stop pretending. Why is it when it's you, it goes up by 50, 60, 40%, and you have all other perks going with it, and then the people who are benefiting the nation, you want to tell them 5? Can't you count higher than 5? You will have to count higher than 5 in this case. I declare you will go higher than 5. I say you will go higher than 5. You are instructed by the Most High God to go higher than 5. You can't say that. You are instructed to go higher than 5. And anyone who comes with arbitration, they must also go higher than 5. Name of Jesus, I say so. I say so. I say so. Yes, give people what is due them. Don't withhold it. Don't hold it back for next year, next month. Don't give it to them incrementally because you want all that's yours and you want it yesterday. Issue correct verdicts and judgments against evil and wickedness. You must issue correct verdicts and judgments against evil and wickedness. There is so much that can be said on this particular piece here that if I start, I wouldn't stop. So I'm not going to start. Issue correct verdicts and judgments against evil and wickedness. Evil must not take 40 years to be judged. When the sons of men are aware that justice takes long or forever, there is nothing that restrains them, and so iniquity spreads. If judgment is meted out quickly upon those who are obviously guilty of heinous crimes, we will see the crime rate in every nation across the globe drop to a minimum. But when criminals know there's no death penalty, when criminals know they can plea bargain, when criminals know that they'll get a slap on the wrist, when criminals know that they can bribe the system, bribe the judges, bribe the magistrate, bribe the police, when criminals know that they have this prosecutor in their pocket, they have that judge in their pocket, they have that director of public prosecution in their top pocket, when they know that the system is corrupted and that they can corrupt the system, justice will not roll down like a mighty stream. And correct verdicts and judgments against evil will not be meted out. Don't favor or excuse wickedness and rebellion in the land, because it's going to come back to haunt you at some point in your life. The injustice that you have allowed will come back to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do justice. And this goes for us who preach the gospel as well. Do justice. Stop promoting people based on bloodline, based on friendship, based on you are close to them and they're close to you. Where is the grace of God and the gifts of God on a person's life that makes them suitable for a particular position? Where is that? We cannot continue to make a comedy of errors because of injustice in the way we mete out. We do things and dole out positions and dole out authorities, etc., etc. Do justice. Do what is just. Do what is right. Do what is equitable. Do without partiality. Do without promoting people that you like and then demoting those that you dislike. You can't give one person $10 for doing a job and give the other one $2 for doing the same job. Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? Do justice. And then the second one, love mercy. Love mercy. Be kind and compassionate to others. Love mercy. Show loving kindness. Don't be critical and self-righteous and condemning. Love mercy. Be forgiving and kind. Love mercy. Help and bless the oppressed. Love mercy. Support the weak. Love mercy. Be generous and benevolent to those that need generosity and benevolence. Love mercy. Bless those who curse you. If you curse everybody that curses you, you'll be cursing for a long time. Learn to smile and say, whatever. I got 99 problems and that ain't one. You've got to learn to say that. We have got to learn to say that. We've got to learn to forgive quickly. Yeah, let people go. Let them all go their merry way. There's no point in holding people down, because for you to elevate yourself, you can't move, because there you are holding somebody down and you have to be present to hold them down. So all the other stuff that's coming to you, you can't be a participant in your own destiny because you're busy holding this person down. Let people go. Let people grow. Let people flow. Stop holding people down. Love mercy. Blessed are the merciful, Jesus said, for they shall obtain mercy. Be kind. Love mercy. Show mercy. Even when people think it's not deserved. None of us deserve the mercy that God gave to us. And so it is imperative, necessary, critical, crucial, vital that we learn to love mercy. Not just to show it, love it. Blessed, happy, and to be envied are the merciful. In this miserable, cruel environment that we live day after day, it is like cold, refreshing water in a desert when somebody demonstrates mercy. People are shocked, like, whoa. It's been a long time they haven't seen some human compassion. And it's quite a blessing to watch and to observe somebody showing mercy. You be to somebody and decide for the rest of this week. You don't have long, it's just tomorrow. Show some mercy to somebody who you think don't deserve it. You think right now you're thinking they don't deserve it. Well, tomorrow, show them mercy anyhow. And watch the chain reaction. Watch their facial expression. Watch the shock. You may need to call an ambulance. I'm just kidding. Show mercy anyhow. And then finally he says, walk humbly. Avoid vanity, avoid pride, avoid rudeness, avoid arrogance. Oh, arrogance. She is so alive and well, moving in the high halls of men and women of the cloth, pompous. It's so because I say so. Nobody's going to move without my yeah. You talk to me. I decide what is. I decide. I have the last say. This extraordinary level of arrogance does not bode well for the next generation. Get off your high horse. That's the message. Avoid vanity. Don't look down on people. Be teachable. You got to learn. We all got to. There's always some subject matter that you don't have expertise in, and so be teachable. Learn. You can learn from a child. You can learn from a child. You know that. I know that. I was having trouble with my phone one time. This little 4-year-old asked me to give them the phone. So I'm looking at them like, you just got here the other day. You're 4. I am, 16 plus 4. But the way they were so confident, I said, what can I lose? Give them the phone. I handed the phone over. It didn't take 2 minutes. They handed the phone back to me, smiling, and said, it's fixed. I said, what do you mean? What is fixed? It was fixed. I'm looking at this 4-year-old and I'm thinking, hold a minute. They didn't go to school to learn this thing. How do they know all that stuff? They made that phone do some things that I had never seen. All I wanted was to make a call and get a call. That's all that's all I was a professional with. And here's this little child could solve the problem that the phone was having at age 4. It's like the fish. They came with swim in them. It's like the bird. They came with fly in them. You don't have to take a fish to swim school. You don't have to take a bird to flight school. They were born with that thing in them. Our children now are born with this ability to do gadgets. It just seems second nature to them to be able to pick up something they've never seen before. They know exactly where to go, what to do, what to punch, and to get it solved. I had to eat some major humble pie that day. I had to learn from a 4-year-old. That was a big pill to swallow, but I swallowed it with some water. I did use a bit of honey later on. Don't look down. Be teachable. Receive correction. Yeah, receive correction. Because if you don't receive correction, you'll constantly be making the same mistakes again and again and again. Admit that you're wrong and be quick to apologize. It's not too late to apologize. It's too late. It's never too late. So bring that apology. Say sorry. Say please. Say excuse me. Say pardon me. Say thank you. Say good morning. Say good afternoon. These were basic things that we grew up with. Basic. Everybody knew that. Not in today's world. Walk humbly. Bow. Reverence God. Give him the worship that is due him. Honor and respect those in authority. Do not forget where you came from. Honor and respect those in authority, and do not forget where you came from. You came from humble beginnings. We all did. So humble yourself. You were born humble. You were born in a humble situation, in a humble family, at a humble hospital, or in a humble home, or in a humble cab rushing you to the hospital, or in a humble ambulance with humble people there, nurses, trying to get you to cry after you were born. Nobody was born with any gold spoon in their mouth. Nobody. I don't care who you think it is. Nobody was born with a gold spoon. So stay humble. You brought nothing into this world, and guess what you're taking out? A whole lot of nothing. I remember this gentleman, I'm just kidding right now. He went to a men's conference, and I don't know who was teaching the conference or what he was hearing, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he was hearing things filtered through his own jaundiced ear. Yes, jaundiced ear. And he went back home, opened the door, and greeted his wife she's looking at him like, what happened to my husband? And his first words were, I am the boss. So she's looking around like, what got into him? He was the boss when he left here. Why would he have to say it in that tone? I am the boss. And then he said the other words that shattered her heart. And he said, and you are nothing. That's why I'm saying he had to be at some other conference. I don't think he heard right. Nobody worth their proverbial salt will teach a man that he's the boss and his wife is nothing. Well, wink, wink. The man is the head of the home, and the wife ought to sit quiet and do what he tells her to do. A woman's place is in the home. You need to shut up because he wears the pants in the family. I've heard some stuff that just makes me sick. From church. It's amazing how the women are always told, forgive and move on. But the men can do anything and get by with murder. And if she as much as winks at another man, he's going to raise Cain and bring back Abel. There is a patriarchal spirit that runs the church, where men do no wrong and women do all the wrong. One rule for the men and 16,759 for the women. All across the globe, in every religion, women are mistreated and put down, and the men are elevated. Women must forgive, and the men must do the wrong all the time and get off. Anyway, he said, I'm the boss, and you are nothing. And she looked at him, and suddenly an idea struck her. And she started to laugh hysterically. So he's wondering, that wasn't the response he was anticipating. That was not the response he was expecting. What went wrong with his wife? She ought to be now cowering in a corner thinking, yes, boss. But there she was laughing. And he asked her, what are you laughing at? She said, I'm laughing at you. He said, why? And she said, look at you. After all these days in the conference, all that money you spent coming and going, you come back home, you're calling me nothing, and you're calling yourself the boss. All that it is, you're the boss over nothing. Woo-wee! Boss over nothing. What a boss, what a boss, what a boss. Walk humbly. He certainly wasn't. He was a boss over nothing. Yes, elitism must not be allowed. The elite. We are in touch with the boss of bosses, and so we have a superior status and standing, and we can snub our nose at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Elitism. There is the superior person, and then there's the inferior person. We run this show here. We run things. You're going to do what we tell you. We can put you in one thing today, get you out tomorrow, put somebody else over you next day. Yeah. There's no consistency. Everything just change at a flash like that, and you have to endure to the end. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to endure to no end. Stop taking mistreatment from people. That's my advice to you. Stop taking it. You don't need them. You don't need people that mistreat you all the time and speak to you in condescending tones. You don't need that. If people are consistently putting you down, insulting you, talking to you like a dog, you don't need that environment. Reverend, what are you saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. Don't pretend like you didn't hear my English. Elitism must not be allowed. We're talking about walk humbly. You're not the elite. The fact that you hear from God or have a word from God does not make you the elite. It makes you the servant of all. You know who a prime minister is? Prime, he's the chief servant. That's who a prime minister is. The chief servant, but we have got it wrong. In the satanic system, those who are the ministers, they have to be ministered onto all the time. Carry their briefcase, take them back and forth, do this, do that for them all the time. They don't do any ministering. They're the chief one being ministered to 24/7. But Jesus said, among you it shall not be so. All right, let me come to a close. The fact that you hear from God and get a word of prophecy should not give you the big head. You have never arrived, you haven't arrived now. Watch your humility. Learn the taste of humble pie and eat it a lot. Father, in the authority of Jesus' name, Yeshua the Messiah, I pray that today we will love justice, show kindness, and walk humbly. These three requirements will become a daily routine in the life of the believer. It is to the glory of God that we have prayed. And we thank you for helping us to prioritize what you have prioritized: justice, kindness, and humility, in that order. Help us to do so. Yeah, I did the right thing. I did the right subject tonight. That little shock that hit me there like a bolt of lightning, that was God saying, all right, son, well done. You got my approval. You did what I told you to do. May the blessings and favor of the Most High God be upon you, upon yours. May God watch over you. You're down sitting and you're uprising. You're going out and you're coming in. May God make you the head and not the tail, and give you victory in this fight that you're engaging in this month. May God give you massive God-sent, God-sized victory. In Jesus' powerful name, I have prayed and declared it is so. Amen. Good night, everybody. The boom is out. Have a nice night.